We are at a critical point in our nation's history. I spoke to a Native American man when I was in New Mexico recently, who said, you know, there was a time when Native American tribes believed they would never be wiped out. Not really. We have to ask ourselves, how much longer can our communities endure if we do not take bold, brave, courageous action? Now, I am told very often when I cite the staggering data and statistics that, well, you know, our criminal justice system isn't some kind of system of racial control. It's a system of crime control. And if black folks would just stop running around committing so many crimes, we wouldn't have to worry about them being locked up en masse and then stripped of their basic civil and human rights. But therein lies the greatest myth about mass incarceration. The idea that it's been crime and crime rate that has driven this prison explosion. It's just false. It's just false. During a 30-year period of time, our prison population quintupled. Not doubled or tripled, quintupled. We went from a prison population of about 300,000, 350,000, to now well over 2 million. We now have the highest rate of incarceration in the world, working against even highly repressive regimes like Russia or China or Iran. But this cannot be explained simply by crime or crime rates. During that same 30-year period of time, crime rates fluctuated. Went up, went down, went back up again, went down again. And today, as bad as crime rates are, in many parts of the country, crime rates nationally are at historical lows. But incarceration rates have consistently soared. Most criminologists today will acknowledge that crime rates and incarceration rates in the United States have moved independently of one another. Incarceration rates, especially black incarceration rates, have soared regardless of whether crime was going up or going down in any given community or the nation as a whole. So what explains the sudden explosion in incarceration and not crime and crime rates? Well, the answer is the war on drugs and the Get Tough movement, the wave of punitiveness that washed over the United States. Drug convictions alone, just drug convictions, accounted for about 2/3 of the increase in the federal prison system and more than half of the increase in the state prison system between 1985 and 2000, the period of our prison system's most dramatic expansion. Drug convictions have increased more than 1,000% since the drug war began. When you get a sense of how large a contribution the war on drugs has made to mass incarceration, consider this. There are more people in prisons and jails today, just for drug offenses, than were incarcerated for all reasons in 1980. Now, most Americans violate drug laws in their lifetime. Most do. But the enemy in this war has been racially defined. Not by accident, the drug war has been waged almost exclusively in poor communities of color, even though studies have consistently shown now for decades that, contrary to popular belief, people of color are no more likely to use or sell illegal drugs than whites. Or sell. Now that's hard for many people to believe. Because when they think about a drug dealer, who do they think of? Think of some black kid, stands before with his pants sagging down. And plenty of drug dealing happens in the hood, but it happens in every other community as well. I happened to go to 3 different high schools when I was growing up. 3 different high schools. One was a very privileged, elite, private school that I got to attend.